We're back on our Param 5500 self-leveling overlay. On this side we have the Pellucid dye, and over here we have Aquacolor. A couple real important pointers here. The Pellucid dye basically has a binder, and what that means is after it's fully cured, it allows you, or it enables you, to go back on top of it with a water-based epoxy, and you're not going to get roller lines. However, on the Aquacolor over here, there's no binder to help lock that color pigment. So what we need to do is we need to lock it down prior to putting our water-based epoxy. So what we're using is A03, water-based acrylic. It is important. Now normally I like to back roll a water-based acrylic, but if we back rolled, it could bleed the color like we talked about. So we're going to try to use a sprayer here that really atomizes the A03 here. So this is a non-drip sprayer, so we're cool. So I'm just going to go and start applying it. Another reason, on some self-leveling overlay cements, if you went just with a straight epoxy, basically they're so dark, and when the epoxy absorbs down into it, and I'm going to put this down so I can pump it up here. What happens is the epoxy right on the surface, it literally just darkens the surface so much. So one way to eliminate that from happening is to prime, in essence, with the A03, like you see us doing right here. And that's going to, once it dries, more preserve the base color. We're on our Param 5500 self-leveling overlay cement panel, and we're about ready to seal it with E32 water-based epoxy. Just a quick recap what we did up until this point. Here on this side, the light gray is the Pellucid dye. On that side is Aquacolor, and we mix the Aquacolor with water. So if you just start to seal over the Param 5500, you need to be careful because you could get some roller lines because of the porosity. So the Pellucid dye has a carrier, so that kind of locks it in, so you don't have any issues with roller lines. And on the Aquacolors, basically we pre-sealed it with A03, just a really light coat of water-based acrylic. Now we're ready to go with our E32. Couple observations. You see, I always want to keep my feet nice and clean, and I'm going to start off rolling this way, and then I'll come back and roll perpendicular to back roll. So I'll roll out about 4 or 5 feet in this direction, and then as I mentioned, we'll come back and back roll it. Now you can see on this panel we do have some very basic decorative saw cuts. So when I load my roller, I don't want to go right from the roller tray onto a saw cut because it'll puddle in there. So we're just basically trying to roll over the top. If you get a little bit in there, you can either take a paintbrush and brush it back out. Just don't try to put so much of the sealer on that you're filling the joints. So we'll go halfway on this and then come back and back roll, and then finish this panel off. Not a bad idea once in a while, keep this edge fresh out here. Right now I'm more concerned about getting the product on the floor, and then when I back roll it, I'll have a little bit more finesse on the back roll. Okay, now as I go over to back roll, like I mentioned already, just keep this edge fresh a little bit. Now I'll come on this way and back roll. Now what's important is technique here. You don't just simply push the roller out there and pull it back. In reality, what you're doing is you're putting more pressure on the right side of the roller, feather edging the left side. I have a lot of people call and say, hey, we got roller lines, and then when I start questioning them about it, they thought perhaps you just push the roller out and back. So you're actually twisting the handle ever so slightly to put less pressure on the left-hand side of the roller and more pressure on the right-hand side of the roller. So this is the term that we use, back rolling. You can see I have my telescoping handle, so I'm able to get all the way across a 8 to 10 foot section here. Okay, we've just applied our E32 water-based epoxy to our Param 5500. Again, you see kind of a whitish milky appearance, which is common on water-based products, and that will usually clear up within about 45 minutes, depending on the site conditions, of course. Now, again, also depending on the ambient and substrate temperature, typically you're recoating between 2 and 3 hours. Has to be tack-free, obviously, because you got to be back out on it, but that's it on that one. So we'll give it another 2.5 hours, and we'll come back and put our final top and clear coats on it. Okay, we just finished mixing our Purdue U46, which is a water-based polyurethane. Just to recap, this was our Param 5500. We did put a coat of E32 water-based epoxy, and we're back now, roughly 2.5 hours after that application. And it's pretty much tack-free, so we're ready to go on this with the U46 urethane. Now, we already delinted our roller cover, and that's really important. And certainly when you step onto a clean floor, you want to make sure that you do so with clean feet. This is a great product. It's extremely durable, great abrasion resistance, and it provides superior gloss. Rolls down really nice. We're going to put this product down very similar to how we put down the E32, which is we're going to roll the material out one direction like this, and then we're going to do approximately half of the panel, and then we're going to come back and back roll it. So right now I'm just concerned about getting the product out on the floor. We talked in an earlier video about how much you put on your roller cover, and usually you should be able to get a good 4 feet to 5 feet. I've loaded my roller cover. I'm going to push back and push this way. That's about the appropriate amount. Halfway, halfway. Roller cover's pretty loaded, so we're good there. When you're getting to the final stages on your decorative floors like we have here, it's not a bad idea, if you need to, bring in a set of halogen lights. Make sure you have sufficient lighting. And I'll even usually, if the lighting's even remotely poor, I'll just have someone be an extra set of eyes for me, because it's very easy to miss something. And there's no worse feeling that you come back the following day and you see something right out in the middle of the floor that you missed, a little V where the roller went off one way. So now we're going to back roll it. We've talked about in multiple videos, there's definitely an art to back rolling. It's not just push the roller out and back. I have oftentimes people will call me and say that they're getting excessive roller lines, and when you watch their technique, they're using bad technique. So what I'm going to do is I'm trying to apply more pressure to this side of the roller and less pressure to this side of the roller, thus feather edging over here. And that really is a good little trick to feather edge the inner edge here, the left side of the roller, and that's going to greatly reduce the chance for roller lines. You can see how nice and flat this product lays out. All right, I'm going to come over here, finish this half off, and that'll be it on this application of U46. Okay, that's it. We've just back rolled our Param 5500 self-leveling overlay cement, which was followed by E32 water-based epoxy, which was then followed by U46 water-based polyurethane. And I have to tell you, it laid out beautifully. It's really nice and glossy. More importantly, you're left with a really durable floor. It's going to provide excellent scuff and scratch resistance. Every project has its own unique qualities. For this reason, that's why it's important to consult your Duraman representative for project-specific questions. Now, you may have questions on mix ratios, which is certainly listed on their website, or other project concerns such as moisture. Now, the industry standard is 3 pounds of moisture vapor transmission in 1,000 square feet in a 24-hour window. Now, Duraman has a complete line of moisture-related products. For example, Purdue MVT will take 8-pound readings, and it'll cover up to 8 pounds in 1,000 square feet in 24 hours. Purdue MVT Plus will get you 18 to 20 pounds of moisture vapor transmission and bring it down to within acceptable tolerances. And also a great system to consider is Purdue UMC, which is the urethane modified concrete, which is good up to 18 to 20 pounds of moisture vapor transmission.